And we're back on FSPN, the Frankie Sports Programming Network, to talk about another lull in the NFL schedule. The owners' meeting is over. The owners' meetings are over. The rule changes, all the scuttlebutt, the media flies down and gets all the quotes from the people, and you get a little bit of news out of that. And now basically waiting until the draft. So we need to talk about the draft and what would potentially happen in the draft that would make Jet fans really happy. But before we do that, I'm going to beg you, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We only have 600 plus, and so that's a big difference, 1,600 plus. So we need your help. Click the subscribe button. It's down there. It's a button. It's free. It's no problem. You just click it. Go ahead. Do it. Do it. Okay, enough. So we need to talk about what would be the best outcome of the draft. So as we're watching, we're going to do a live stream from the draft for the draft. So we will be live on the air. Hopefully you'll join me for that. There's going to be probably lots of other people going live on the air for the draft, but hopefully you join old Frankie and we'll hang out and we'll find out what's going to happen. But we need to know what's going to, what should we be rooting for as these picks start to come off the board? And is this good that this happened? So let's take a look and see what it is that we should be looking for. Now, before we do that, let's lay some ground rules here. Now, for the Jets, what I am thinking we're doing this year, based on all of the tea leaves that I can read, all of the things that have been said, all of the things that have been done, and there's a lot more things been said and done since you know, since the season ended and we didn't know what the hell was going to happen. We now have some ideas. We don't have the whole picture yet, but I'm starting to understand what it is that we're doing, and that's a good thing, at least for me. But I think what we're doing the plan for this year is to do something that I'm calling fields maxing, meaning we're going to try to max out the potential, the ceiling, the all of the promise that is within Mr. Justin Fields. I think that's why he came to our team, because that's what we promised him. And and we got him at a good salary relative to a starting quarterback in the NFL, especially one with as much talent as he has. Remember, the second most rushing yardage for a quarterback in NFL history. Who has it? Justin Fields. Second most. The second best. I mean, have we had a quarterback's ever been second best at anything in NFL history ever? So, yeah, Joe Namath. Yeah, other than Willie Joe back in the day when he threw for 4,000 yards in the 14 game. Yeah, we get it. But the point is that we got a guy with some potential. So why not see if we can get the potential out of him this year? So what that means to me is we are not in the quarterback market this year. I think I would be shocked. I would be pretty shocked if we took Jackson Dart or Kyle McCord or anybody else in this draft. All 8 picks. We got 8 draft picks. I don't think we're using a one of them on a quarterback. There's too many holes in the roster. What happened after free agency told me we're not taking a quarterback with any of those picks because we got to fill the roster with those picks. Now, I do think we will sign a UDFA quarterback. That'll be our 4th quarterback in camp, and that quarterback can compete with Jordan Travis to be the 3rd string emergency quarterback for the year. And I think the Jets are hoping and thinking that actually Jordan Travis will beat him out, whoever that may be, and we work with, Justin and Tyrod and Jordan for this year. And that's our quarterback situation. Now, that being said, now we can take a look and see what the draft is all about. Let's take a look, shall we? If we can get this thing to work. This damn thing doesn't work at all, Doc Brown said once. Okay. So here's the draft order. Now we're starting to hear all sorts. So that being the case, so the basic premise here then is we're not taking a quarterback. We're not in the quarterback market according to my theory. So that's the ground rules of what I'm playing with here. That being the case, then we should root for a lot of quarterbacks to go before we pick, right? Because we're not in the quarterback market. So the more quarterbacks that go, then more good players fall to us, and we have our pick of who we want and who we like. So, by all reporting, it seems like a very easy number one pick going to be Cam Ward. By all reporting, it seems like there's very little doubt Cam Ward is going to Tennessee. That's good. That's one quarterback off the board. Okay. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The next two quarterbacks, by all, pretty much all of the people who know about the prospects, say the next two quarterbacks are Shador and Jackson Dart. Now, some like Shador more than others. Some like Jackson Dart more than others do. Uh, some people say they're both second round talents. Other people say no, no, no. So, for example, today we got two different reports, one from Dan Orlovsky and one from Albert Breer. So these are two people in the know. And Dan Orlovsky says, I'd be shocked if Jackson Dart gets out of the top 10 picks in the first round. And Albert Breer says he'd be shocked if Jackson Dart went in the first round, anywhere in the first round. So we got two different experts saying two different things. Not the first time. So we don't know. Cleveland needs a quarterback. The Giants need a quarterback to varying degrees based on what you think. Cleveland desperately needs a quarterback of some kind. There are only two on their roster right now are Deshaun Watson, who's injured, probably going to miss the whole season, well, most of the season, if not all of it, and Kenny Pickett. So they're going to get one or two quarterbacks from somewhere, draft, signing, trade. The Giants, of course, signed Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, and they have Tommy DeVito. So technically, they could get by with their quarterback room as it is, if they so chose, with those guys in the room. Now, the problem for the Giants is if it goes south with Wilson as the quarterback, starting quarterback, and he doesn't play well, and then Winston comes in, doesn't play well, Daboll and Shane are definitely getting fired. So I don't think they're going to go into the season with that. I think they desperately want a quarterback. Now there's been a lot of reporting about Cleveland that they love Carter, they love Hunter, they like Shador is a lock. Shador, there's no way Shador is going to Cleveland. So there's been reporting all over the place. But this video is about what should the Jets want. So what the Jets should want is Cleveland to go Shador, Sanders, and then the Giants. And I think it could happen if they like Dart as much as Orlovsky does, and lots of other people like Dart as much as Orlovsky. For example, Charlie Weiss does as well, although he's biased because his son is the offensive coordinator down at Ole Miss. But nonetheless, um, the reason the Giants would, because you'd be sitting here and saying, well, wait, they could take Travis Hunter, and wouldn't that be great for their team? Yeah, but the coaching and GM situation, I think they need to have a long-term plan proposed to management at the quarterback position if Wilson and Winston start to stink it up, which is very possible. In other words, if they don't take a quarterback high and those guys start to stink it up, they're getting fired. Whereas if they have a young quarterback that they pick high, a first round pick like Jackson Dart, if those guys start to stink it up, they can say, well, wait. We were developing Jackson Dart. Don't fire us now. We took Jackson Dart with the idea that he's going to develop and take over for these guys. So don't worry, Mr. Mara. We got it all figured out. Right? So I think given their situation, they got to take a quarterback. I mean, they don't have to, but man, it's hard for me to see them not. Now, if they had a longer leash and they weren't in the situation they would take Travis Hunter right here probably. But what we would want and what I could see happening is boom. Dart goes here. Ward, Shador, Dart tour. And now the first three picks are off the board, and we, all quarterbacks, and we don't care about quarterback in this draft. So that's great for us. So what does that mean now? Now, the way I see it, the Jets really have their focus. Here's the consensus big board. The Jets really have their focus, as I see it, on four players: Mason Graham, Armand Membu, Will Campbell, and Tyler Warren. And if I had to rank them myself, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I'm not sure how much I need to go into why we. I don't know if I need a long. We're not going after Ashton Genty. We're not, and we're not going to have now Carter and Hunter. Of course, we would have them higher than these four, but we're not going to, as we're going to see, we're not going to get access to them. Those two, because the next two picks are almost certainly going to be those two guys. So New England would probably take. I don't know. I guess they would take Hunter, and they would make him a wide receiver. I think there's a lot of discussion and heated debate about what you do with Travis Hunter, but they desperately need a wide receiver, and then you could use him, for certain situations as a cornerback. That being the case, then Jacksonville would almost certainly take Carter, right? So those two are gone. Now, all four of our guys are still on the board. So no matter what Vegas does, and Vegas could do a lot of things, but Gianti is the one that everybody is mocking to them. They could take any one of the above on the other side, but everybody's mocking Gianti to them. Gianti. So that leaves us with all four of our players. This is the way we would love it to go, because now we could take our choice. And if we had our choice of these guys, I think it would be Membu, Campbell. So in this case, we're going to take Membu, because I think out of these four, we're going to grade Membu the highest. And one of the reasons is, I think, if you think back to how Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes built the Lions, and what with Aaron Glenn, with his, he's paying attention, because don't forget, Aaron Glenn's been prepared. He keeps telling us he's been preparing to be a head coach for all this time, and every off season he would study something new. And so draft time came around for the Lions when Aaron Glenn was on the staff. You have to imagine he was watching very closely what Holmes was doing and Campbell was doing, what the scouts were doing, et cetera, et cetera. And what did they do that first season? There was a lot of good options on the table, and they chose Penei Sewell. Turned out to be a great choice. And a lot of people said, oh, they took a right tackle. They should have taken the wide receiver. They should have taken this and that. Worked out great for them. They finished, or got a big piece of the offensive line. A right tackle, Penei Sewell, probably the best right tackle in all of football. So to me, it's kind of the same philosophy. All we need on the offensive line is one more guy. I love Membu personally, and I think the Jets are also going to love Membu. Now, they might have Campbell rated higher. I don't know. If they do, that's fine with me. I'm actually fine with all four of these. And then Tyler Warren is a tight end, and I could see us using him if the draft goes a certain way, and then Mason Graham. So then Mason Graham's going to drop probably to the next team. Carolina probably take him. And so forth and so on. But I think this is the optimal thing. So if we start watching the draft together on draft night, and we see Ward go off the board, and then Shador goes off the board, and then Jackson Dart goes to the Giants, all right, now we're cooking. Because there's really no chance we're going to miss out on one of our players. So this is really what we want right here. Perfect. So there you go. There you go. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section down below. And like I said earlier, please subscribe to the channel. We would really appreciate your help with the subscriptions on this channel. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.